Hey, Jonathan here. I've got a question from Matt Olpinski on Twitter who asks, in my experience, clients usually want a timeline estimate for the project in addition to a price. How do you give your clients an accurate estimate for time when the price is totally disconnected from it? All right, there's a lot going on here. In a situation like this, you've got a project. I'm going to assume it's going to take at least 3 months, maybe it's 6 months. And there's going to be a lot of collaboration, a lot of back and forth with the client. And it's perfectly reasonable for a client to want to know how long something's going to take because they probably have to slot other things in around it. They probably have to allocate resources, people's time. They might have a big event coming up, some sort of sales conference or something like that where they need to plan ahead, prepare marketing materials, let's say, and they need to have a reasonably good idea of when the project is going to be done, more or less. So although I, with a rare exceptions, do not agree to deadlines, and if I do agree to deadlines, then I have a flexible scope, but that's a separate conversation. In general, what I do when people talk about giving a timeline estimate is I do just that. I tell people, in a case where I'm not going to agree to a deadline, because there's not a hard deadline, there's not like, this needs to be done by the Olympics or something like that. I'll say, well, I can't guarantee any particular deadline because this is a collaboration and I don't really have control over how long the project's going to take. If I'm slow, it's going to slow you down. If you're slow, it's going to slow me down. So no one's really in control. However, I can keep you abreast of the situation. So what I will do is maintain a live sort of Gantt chart timeline of the project if you feel like you need that. And that'll be one of my deliverables. So every time we meet and on an ongoing project, I would typically meet with a client once a week, in addition to lots of other regular communications. And I would give them weekly updates on the timeline. I would say, here's what happened this week. There were delays because there are always delays, and it's going to stretch the timeline out like this. So basically what I'm telling them at the beginning of the project and throughout the project is there's no way the project's going to be done before this particular date. There's no way the project's going to be done before January 2019 or something like that. And if we continue to have delays and surprises, it's going to keep stretching out. What this allows them to do is make contingency plans as we get closer and closer and the estimates get better and better. They can make contingency plans for scheduling whatever else they need to schedule around the project. So this keeps them in the loop. It gives them a sense of control. It gives them trust in you that you are maintaining some sort of, not control over the project, but your oversight is giving them a sense of control over the project. So in other words, someone's paying attention to what's going on. Someone's making estimates, but they're estimates. Now, a lot of people will conflate a sort of expanding timeline with increased cost. So with value-based pricing, so if you do a project with me, let's say, and I have value priced the outcome, I gave you a fixed price. So if it's $100,000 and the project timeline stretches from 6 months to 12 months, it's no skin off the client's nose, it's no skin off your nose in terms of cost. It's not going to cost you more. So when clients are really concerned about a deadline or a timeline being adhered to, a lot of time it's really a cost concern. And if you take away hourly billing and you just say, well, the price is $100,000, if it takes twice as long, that's my problem. Along the way, I'll keep you posted on when we think it's going to finally launch so you can make other plans around it, but you don't have to worry about the price ballooning out of control. In my experience, that's been enough to cause people to relax, to get them to trust you, and take away that sort of what most people experience with clients is that they're really concerned about a particular deadline and when that it's going to be released at a particular time, because what they're really worried about is the cost ballooning out of control. So if you take that out of the equation, they kind of calm down about the timeline in most cases. Hope that helps. If you have follow-up questions, hashtag #AskJonathan on Twitter. See you next time.